What's going on with you, brother?
Not a whole lot. What you up to?
Messing around with this internet trying to get our intro started and turn our post from private to public. Peace. That's it. I'm going.
What's up, everyone? I do believe Big Sarge is over here trying to figure out what's going on with his internet. That's what he said in the last few minutes. So while he is, getting everything fixed, how's everybody been? Hope everybody's been all right. I know I've been out for about a month, almost a month now. I had inventory at work, so I've just been steady busy between work and home life. So apologize for not being here. And like I said, I was when I first started the show, being committed to the show. So please forgive me on that piece. But like to, oh, there he is. Big Sarge back.
Hey, I'm glad you there. If you there, you keep going. I add myself back. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm having one of those internet days where it's acting a little bit crazy. I
You have a whiskey Charlie
Yeah,
day? What you
it's just one
saying?
of those days, I guess.
Having a whiskey Charlie day. Damn it
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it's whiskey Charlie and on me. I'm gonna attempt to hit our intro again and see if I can share this post. I don't know if you have the ability to share our post. I know Knox was just hitting me up, said it was showing up private. So I wanted to make it public so people could share it. But I've just posted it on Facebook and I seen it. Now I don't even see it anymore. So I have no clue what's going on with
I seen it.
StreamYard right now. But I'll
I
attempt to
seen
hit
where
the
you shared
intro.
it on Facebook. I seen where you shared it on Facebook. It wasn't shareable from that point, and that's where I commented on there to make it shareable.
You did? Oh yeah. Well, so I'm attempting to make it shareable because it's not even showing up now on my end. So I have no clue what between Facebook and my internet bars is full, so I don't know. And if the intro kick us off and come on, I'll let it go on. If not, we just gonna roll into this thing and I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm gonna go to YouTube real quick, see we live on YouTube, and then I will
Yeah,
share the
we
link
are.
from
We are.
YouTube to Facebook, and then I'll just let people tune in from right there. I'll do it that way.
Hey, we are
But
live on.
what's been going on
Hey,
with
we
you?
are live on Charge.
Okay,
You
so
hear
what
me?
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the link from you. Yeah, I hear you.
All right, Roger. Sorry.
I hear you.
Apologize about that.
I'm just no, you good. No, you good. I'm just gonna okay. So I see it now on Facebook that I just got a notification that we live, but yeah, I'm going to share a link from YouTube to Facebook, and we're gonna let it do what it do, and we're gonna see how things go, if it keep kicking me out or not. But hey, what can go wrong will go wrong. It does go wrong. You just got to keep carrying on. How you been, my brother? It's been a little bit of time since we've been able to get on here together and do what we do.
Yeah, that's what I was sitting there telling the people right before you got back on here. You know, it's between work, because we had inventory like last week, so we've been constantly at it. And then, of course, not only that, but been out enjoying myself with the family and stuff like that, because, you know, it's the last month before the girls, before my daughter starts back to school. So, been out doing things. So, you know, been hitting the beach up, going fishing and stuff like that. So, getting them to enjoy things that, of course, that I enjoy and they're enjoying themselves. So, you know, living life, man. You know, just it's been a hectic this last month, but I'm back, ready to go, be here to support my team, everybody else that watches, support people that watch us, and support Big Sarge here, because, you know, I made a commitment to be out here for y'all guys. So, and that's what I want to do. I want to be here to be able to support anybody and everybody that's out there that needs help.
Yeah, that's what we love to do. That's what we're looking to do. And I want to apologize to you and everybody else and myself. I'm going to attempt to keep my patience and be calm over here. Is nothing worse to me than having a horrible internet connection or having technical difficulties. Oh yeah, so it's not me. It's StreamYard got something going on, because I look up in the top right corner, the internet bars keep dropping on that. But on my laptop, where I'm working other stuff, everything is going just fine. So we're going to get on here and do what we do, free and relax our mind. You know what it is. It's speak grunt, or grunt speak grunt, as I like to say. When we come on here and we speak to you today, by grunts for grunts. Everybody welcome. Everybody will not be a member. 11B, 11 Charlie, 11 Alpha 2. You know what we do. 0311 Marine Corps crew. We salute you too for doing what you do. This may not be for your kids, but it'll bless your kids if you let them tune in and listen. And today we want to talk about something very important to you, what Whiskey Charlie called, what he brought to me, accountability. And that covers a multitude of things when you talk about accountability. So Whiskey Charlie, I'm just going to get right into this thing and ask you, what was you thinking, or what was your thought process when you figured accountability was the way we would go?
Hey, look, what I was thinking is, of course, self-accountability was my biggest thing. I know accountability covers a lot, but I do believe self-accountability. And, you know, we people always seem to sit here and think about, you know, what everybody else is doing and what they're not doing and what they should be doing, this, that, and the other. But I think at the end of the day, you know, we so fast to react to about what everybody else is doing and not look at ourselves and be like, okay, what do I need to be doing? Accountability for yourselves is, so if you have goals or anything in your life, you know, you can't just blame everybody else on your goals on why you can't be successful at them. You know, accountability becomes what are you doing, and if there's a rough patch in the road, what are you doing trying to overcome that? And that's that accountability to yourself, right? So you got to always learn how to, of course, get back to resetting yourself and getting out there and doing your best you can, and getting back on that right path to that goal of yours.
Absolutely, indeed. I 100% agree with that. I will keep talking when my picture go out, and you give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know you can't hear me. I'm not finna play with it, and I'm not finna allow it to get frustrated. Exactly that. The fact or condition of being accountable, responsibility, and if you look a little bit deeper into, and he was talking about that same thing about accountability and the responsibilities of the father, and how the things that we do would pass on to the second, like the sins of the father. And a lot of times we do things and we think it's just about us and how we want to move, and not knowing that somebody else is going to go through something because of what you do. I got your thumbs up, so I hope that means you can hear me too. Hello?
Yeah, I got you, Big Sarge. I can hear you loud and clear. Lima Charlie.
Am I there? Let me see if I can do this just from my phone. StreamYard, where you at?
All right, everybody. Why Big Sarge here is trying to figure everything out. Hey, look, you guys. Another big thing is
I can't do it that way. I'm gonna have to set it up later on today. Anybody out there in the chat, let me know if you can hear me. Send something in the comments. And I see is 1 or 2 people supposedly watching this thing, but I don't know if you can hear anything. I guess I got to be accountable for my technical difficulties too. I don't know why it's doing what it do. There you go. You're moving regular again for me, Whiskey Charlie. So maybe you back.
I can hear Lima Charlie. It's loud.
I can see you. Okay, I got you. Now. I was on my phone. I realized I didn't have StreamYards for my own account connected yet. And it's I think I have it running through my wife's email. So it just sent me a code, which I can't get because I don't have her email connected to my computer. Or I might. Anyhow, accountability. Absolutely. It's every individual's responsibility. And when you think about accountability, it happens on so many levels, from a spiritual level, from a physical level to a financial level and to a health level. And it happens in a multitude of ways. Like when you called me earlier today, I had just got off of my exercise bike. All right. Thank you, brother. I had just got off on my exercise bike and I was doing like 10, 11 minutes, to stretch out my knee, to give myself some relief from some of the tightness that I feel. And going to my physical therapist, they like, the more you move that thing, the better it heals, the quicker it heals. And if I want to get back to rucking and doing the things that I do, I have to hold myself accountable, even though my knee bothers me. I don't have time to be laying around and letting that thing stiffen up. See, so I went out there in my garage and I started getting on my exercise bike, doing a little biking. And of course, it started out a little bit tight. That's usually what it do. But the more I pedaled, the more that thing started to loosen up too. And it was just like, hey, this is a reminder for you. The more you work on getting better for you, the more you hold yourself accountable for what you say you want to do, the more life begin to change for you. Whiskey Charlie, I must say this too, brother. You looking a little slim over there. That working out over there must be doing you some justice. You're looking pretty good.
I appreciate that, Big Sarge. Hey, man, I've been of course, holding myself accountable, but at the same time, I just had been just living life. Again, it's being active. My accountability part on that about me before was I'm always active, but I guess it's just the certain routines I had in my life also with what I was doing and what I was eating, so just not paying attention to what I was eating and just eating smaller portions where I've slimmed down quite a bit. I ain't definitely military day type slim down, but definitely slimmed down to what I used to be. Uh-oh.
That's what's up. No, that was me. I stopped my camera. I literally stopped it to see if it'll leave my internet alone. Yeah, so I stopped it. I just started back up to see. Yeah, that's you said something very important. Watching what you eat. I just told my family earlier today, we was out grocery shopping. I'm like, we about to go plant-based, not vegan, not vegetarian. We about to go plant-based. I got some time off of work and I'm going to change up some things. I do my researching, man. And a lot of the things that, you were talking about feeling a little bit sluggish after you eat sometimes. And I'm like, well, depending on what you ate, it made you feel that way. And a lot of the stuff that they serving us as food is more like poison today. And I know a lot of people ain't gonna want to hear that because Americans are conformists. They don't want to believe that the government is allowing things to happen in the way they're happening, what they're putting on our shelves to feed us with all the preservatives and crap like that. And I told myself, man, I gotta pull back. Like, it's a reason that so many people are getting type 2 diabetes. It's a reason that so many people are getting cancer. You know what I'm saying? Hey, in moderation. You know what? I think I have some red wine or something in there that my wife got for me, but it's like, even with that, it's in moderation. I'm not knocking nobody for what they do, but it's like, it's in moderation for what you do. And if you eating a lot of fast food, if you eat a lot of fried food, if you eat a lot of heavy, starchy, sugary food, like, it's going to catch up to you. And a lot of times people don't want to hold themselves accountable to change their life because they talk about how difficult it is, right? I go back to something that you always say, putting your needs before your wants. You need to be healthy if you want to attempt to live a longer, healthier life. You need to be healthy if you got kids, right? So you can see them grow up, so you can go to the park with them and do the things that you want to do. And if you know some of the food is hurting you, why would you continue to do what you do? Like, I don't know how many people know this or how many people are really paying attention, but like, most of the meat that you get in at fast food restaurants is lab-made meat. This is not authentic meat that you're eating. Like, this is the chicken that we get nowadays. It's lab-made meat. But people feel like that's okay. I can't stop eating my meat. I can't stop doing this. Well, cool. Do what you do. But when you start to get sick, remember, you had to hold yourself accountable. And I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. You're just going to change your life. It's a process, but you got to be willing to go through the process if you don't want to deal with all that mess. You got to be willing to set your children up in a different way, because the food today ain't like the food that we had in our days coming up. It's only getting worse. That's why these kids is growing big as giants nowadays. Elevate my foot today. I'm taking the tactical pause so I can see if I can hear anything you got to say, Whiskey Charlie.
Hey, no, Big Sarge. Hey, look, yeah, I guess you would say I'm almost one of those people that don't pay a lot of attention, I guess, to, like you were saying, there's a lot of shit out there that is not what it used to be. And I can guarantee that people can tell a difference in a taste, especially if you've been around for a while. For the people that hasn't, probably couldn't as much. And, I don't pay so much of mine, but also when it comes to certain things, again, I just worry about controlling myself, eating at certain times, and then shrinking down, holding myself accountable for the amount that I eat and then what time I eat. Because a whole lot of people don't know is your body will actually tell you when you're full. If you take smaller bites, it'll be a surprise to a lot of you how much you actually eat compared to what you're telling yourself. Oh, I can eat a whole entire pizza. Truthfully, you'll get full after maybe 2-3 slices, but you're telling me I'm gonna eat this whole thing because it's delicious. But really, it's delicious either way. But at the same time, you'll get full after maybe 2-3 slices, and that's when your body's like, oh, hold up. But your ass is sitting there just throwing it down, just gobbling it up. Thing is, your body will tell you when you're full, and it's just listen to your body, man. That's what it is. At the end of the day, just listen to your body. Hold yourself accountable. Listen to your body.
That's it right there. 100%. Listen to your body. I was telling somebody the other day, I just stopped taking my pain meds, my hydrocodone, and all those other things that they gave me. And they like, well, did the doctor tell you could do that? I said, the doctor don't tell me. My body tells me. I know my body better. I know my body better than the doctor do. If I'm taking something and I'm not in pain and my veins is craving that thing, then I know it's not for me. And I've been doing so much fasting. I've been doing so much researching on what I put in my body. Like, it's a shock to my system to take all those pharmaceutical drugs again. Like, it's really a shock to my system, but in the understanding, like you said, even if you do continue to eat certain things, it's in moderation. You got to sometimes take a break so you can allow your body to really clean itself, to really heal itself. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna beat up the food industry. We just talking about accountability. If you know you putting something in your system, it's like when I was younger, I used to drink. I used to drink like a fish on my weekend time, or we'd be in our army time, you know, doing what I do. At 46 years old, I couldn't do that if I wanted to. I could, but I'm gonna be somewhere asleep. I'm gonna be somewhere feeling sick. And it's like, okay, that's not it. I can't move the way I used to. If I'm gonna have a drink, I don't even do hard liquor. I'm going after apple cider, you know, or red wine for me. That's what I'm going to have if I'm gonna have something to drink. And it's usually I'm gonna have a glass, maybe sharing with my wife doing dinner or something like that. Because again, it's all about moderation in every situation, you know. I think about now with finances, being so accountable in my finances, really studying and learning how money works. You know, I just set up, my wife and I set up our IRAs, our Roth IRAs, looking to go build our corporation in a trust, to put our will in our trust, like learning these things to set our children up for success as they get older, instead of just getting your money and it's going to bills and everything else. And it's like you passing on the same thing, like understanding life insurance, like really studying to put myself in a better position so I can live the life that I want to live. Like not making an excuse about what I didn't know before. Well, I know now. So since I know now, you have to apply it now. And a lot of times people just want to go off of what it used to be or what they used to see, or nobody told me. Miss me with that nobody told you stuff. You're a grown man or a grown woman. You get on the internet and scroll and look at everything else. You better hold yourself. Yeah.
That's where the accountability comes into play.
You got to start holding yourself accountable, because especially
you cannot blame anybody else for your. I said you cannot blame anybody else for self accountability, man. It's all about what you're going to do to make yourself better, right? That's a self accountability. Accountability, it's all on you, right? And what you're going to do, right? I mean, one of the questions I actually had for you, Big Sarge, is accountability, right? When you were in the military, what was a class, like maybe maybe it was Ranger, maybe it was SF or whatever else. What class did you want to take that you never did, and what was the reason why? For you not taking it? Because accountability from that point is, okay, well, I wasn't in shape. Okay, that's accountability from that standpoint.
I would say it was probably two things I really wanted to do that I should have done, and that would be really pushing hard to get my EIB and air assault school. And the reason I never did either one of those things is I didn't hold myself accountable enough to train to do the 12-mile ruck march in under 3 hours. Like I would always tell myself at that time, I would tell myself, oh man, my legs are too short. I can't do that. Well, there's plenty of guys that was my height, 5'7" and 5'6", that was able to do it. But the truth of the matter is I didn't hold myself accountable enough to discipline myself, to push myself to train for that. That's why I didn't get that. It wasn't like it's an impossible task or an impossible feat. I didn't believe in me enough or discipline me enough to hold myself accountable to go do that stuff. So I would say those would be the two things for me. It's like, that's how I wound up going to Iraq. I couldn't keep holding myself back. Like I volunteered both times. I wanted to make sure that I was able to do my job that I said I could do. You know, it's like being an infantry guy. You got to hold yourself accountable for what you're going to do when you get there. So for me, it was definitely air assault school and EIB. And unfortunately in the National Guard, you know, in my 15 years, I think EIB only came around maybe 2 or 3 times.
I'm gonna say so 2, 3.
You had to be training outside of, you know, you and what that meant was, because I think we had the one guy who was in Iraq with us, who was it, Ruiz, that earned his EIB. But I remember talking to Ruiz several times, and he talked about how often he was training at home, how much he was rucking at home. So it's not like when you're on active duty and you probably pursuing that thing and you working collectively as a platoon, a squad, a team. When you're in the National Guard, you got to discipline that. You got to discipline yourself to go do it for yourself. And that was one of the things I would say I could have done that I did not do.
Yeah.
What about you?
I mean, I would definitely say mine was one of the EIBs and just extra courses, kind of like you were saying with the air assault, airborne. I think the biggest thing accountability wise with me on those pieces was that I was in shape. I was everything I needed to go, but I had denial in myself. I doubted myself so much as an individual. Like, I'm like, you know, again, I was in shape. I knew my stuff and everything else, but I was like, oh, I'm never going to make it. Hey, I'm again, like you were talking about height and stuff like that. My height and my sit-ups. I can never fucking do sit-ups if it depended on my life. But accountability, I never did anything to change it. And I still don't. My wife, even now at this time of day, always tells me, hey, you work out your legs 2-3 times a week. Hey, you work your chest. You do this, you do that, but you never do anything with your core. I'm like, I just can't do it. But the thing is, I got to hold myself accountable at the times I do it. And man, I tell you what, it's rough. It is rough. But the thing is I forgot who was telling me. I think it was actually a bodybuilder that I was following online. And he actually says, the exercises that help you the best are the hardest exercises. People never want to do squats, but guess what helps you the best? People never want to do these certain exercises like sit-ups and stuff like that because it hurts or because it's the best for you, or the certain like regular sit-ups. It's the best type of sit-ups for you, but nobody wants to do it because it's hard. That's why. If it's hard, you got to hold yourself accountable and figure a way to make it easy.
Absolutely. That's what I enjoy about listening to some of the speakers and motivational guys that I listen to. It always pushes me to do more, like listening to David Goggins, listening to E.T. And I'm like, these dudes are human, just like me. The difference is they were willing to push themselves. Like I could push myself in other areas of my life, but there's some things you need to push harder in too. But I like to say the way a person does one thing is the way you do everything. So if you're a half-ass it here, you'll half-ass it there. And like you said, working out like core, legs, and back, that's the foundation of building a strong body. Like that is the foundation of building a strong body. And if you build a strong body, it builds a stronger mind. And a lot of people don't want to do that. Like it takes discipline to go to bed at a certain time every night. It takes discipline to wake up at a certain time every morning. It takes discipline to do what you say you're going to do in those moments or times where it doesn't feel so comfortable to do. And so a lot of people want things, but they don't want to do the things that it takes to get to the next level in the next space. Like wanting to do grunt speak, may not always feel comfortable or feel like you don't know what you want to say today, but you got to show up anyway. You got to hold yourself accountable in every way, in every aspect of life. It's even like tonight. I don't know how much clarity y'all gonna get from this video. I might want to put it down off of YouTube. I don't know. But I still have to be here to hold myself accountable to do this. It's like I said to Whiskey Charlie. If he wasn't available tonight, I don't even know if I was gonna do this thing. And the way the internet is acting, I'm like, man, maybe that was the right thing. Maybe I should have took a break. Nah, you don't know what you able to say or what Whiskey Charlie might say that might come through these broken airways that's gonna help somebody today. PTSD, you can be healed from that thing if you willing to put the work in. And words are ammunition for me. Like your words are your ammunition. If you don't have no 5.56 for that M4, it's combat ineffective. Words out of your mouth, you combat ineffective. You're gonna be no good. So you gotta make sure you speaking the right words out of your mouth, and you got to be willing to hold yourself accountable to get yourself to the next level in life that you want to be at.
Yeah. Hey, look, hey, Big Sorry, I definitely agree, because I like I tell a lot of my people at my workplace, man, I remember the first time ever flying over into Iraq on the plane. We had a whole bunch of privates and specialists and this, that, and the other talk about what they were going to do. Again, you're talking about speaking the words, right? Talking about what they're going to do. And I remember, I forgot which incident it was. They had told me and told us, they're like, there's only going to be one or two things. You think you're going to go over there and shoot this and do that and blow up this, but there's going to be one or two things it's going to happen when you first get over there and you start getting in combat. You're either going to shit or piss yourself. It's all about, after that point, it's all about the reaction that you, after that, right? Hold yourself
Pretty
accountable,
much.
right? You can speak on all you want to, which is good, right? Speak about it, have yourself a plan, but react to that plan and be able to hold yourself accountable from that point. Like, hey, shit, I fucked up here. Now I'm failing. Okay, what am I going to do to fix me? What I'm going to do to fix me? You can't fix everyone. You got to focus on you. Once you fix yourself, I bet that chain reaction, if it's at work, if it's on whatever goal it is, whatever sport it is that you're trying to do, if you hold yourself accountable and you make yourself better, it is most likely almost a guarantee that it's going to fix everybody else around you, whether it's in a good way that fixes them or they may bounce their asses out of there.
That's
who knows?
Facts.
Who knows? But at the end of the day, you got to look at it and see, what are you going to do for you? Take care of you. That's the most important piece, right? You got to take care of you to take care of everyone else. Especially if you have a family, each day I think about like what else I got to do for my family, but I also got to think about, I sit here and tell myself, okay, look, I got to be healthier. So I've started getting better in shape because you know what? A healthier me makes a healthier family, which is I'm going to be there to be able to support my family at what all I need, being there and, holding certain people accountable at work, for not doing their jobs or, and accountability is not just a negative thing. Accountability is also sometimes a positive accountability and recognizing the ones that are up in there, right? So you've got to do that. So I try to do a little mixture of both. At the end of the day, again, it's all about holding yourself accountable on what and that's how the results are going to show up. It's going to be, that's how your life is, your work, your job, your job, your sport, whatever you're doing, your hobbies, you hold yourself accountable for that and you'll become better at it. But if you're sitting here trying to blame it off on anybody and everybody else, you're not doing anything to make yourself better.
Absolutely. I don't see accountability in a negative way in no shape, form, or fashion. Every letter in that word to me is positive because you said it. Accountability is about you holding yourself accountable. It's a buddy of mine at work, a supervisor, and he's like, you know what, man, that's one of the things I admire about you, I respect about you, and something I'm adding in my life too. Like, you don't have no problem with checking yourself. When I screwed up with my marriage, I was responsible and took accountability for that. When I was screwing up with my finances, I didn't have a problem with admitting that to myself and then making the corrections to make it right. And that's what it's about. Make the corrections to make it right. Nobody's asking you to be perfect because nobody's going to be that. But we all have the opportunity to hold ourselves accountable, to make the corrections, to make our life what we want it to be, to put our family in a different direction, to get to that vision that we see, that we have for ourselves. Like, it's not just about you, especially for men. It's going to affect someone else. And I said it earlier, Dr. Miles Monroe was saying it. Men, we pass things on to the first, second, third, fourth generation. And we wonder why we do things at times. And it's like, oh, wow, this didn't come from me. This came from my grandfather. This came from my great grandfather. You know what I'm saying? And people don't want to hold themselves accountable to the role they play in somebody else's life, because you're probably not looking at the role you play in your own life. It's all about progressing and being willing to change, to get yourself in a different lane. Like, that's what it's really all about.
No, hey, that's true. When you got to hold yourself accountable.
If this video turned out to be trash and nobody can hear half of what we say, trust and believe Big Surge hold himself accountable today.
Hey, look, I heard everything you said this whole last spiel hit, Big Sarge. Like, I some good stuff right there. But again, man, I'm gonna tell you what, I have a new store manager at my store, and that's one of the things that she said. That's one thing that that I need to work on myself is accountability. And it's not just, when she said that, I'm like, okay, accountability. Like, hold my people accountable. I hold them accountable. I talk with them. I do this, that. And she goes, also self-accountability. And that's where this topic came from, is from my work. And, and it also kind of brought to me, again, that topic I kind of briefly brought up with you is like, there's a lot of things that I could have done in the military, but I didn't take advantage of because I didn't hold myself accountable, because I doubted myself. I doubted myself a lot. And I do the same thing at my work. I doubt my ability, and I doubt in not only my ability, my confidence is not all there. I've been told that I'm good by a lot of several managers that have been above me and district people and my associates, but I still doubt myself all the time. You probably would never think that because how confident and how energized who I am, but I do. I doubt myself every day on every capability that I do. Anything as a father, as a manager at work, and when I was in the military. I don't know what it is, but it's just something that I have that I'm always doing, and I always doubt myself. But I've got to hold myself accountable because I know I've got a lot more in me. And the thing is you get complacent once you start thinking like that, and everything else. You start getting complacent and being acceptable to what you have. And then the big thing is what you can have is a lot more, but you're accepting that complacement and still staying in those bad habits, those bad routines and stuff like that, right? Just, hey, and look, you don't have to change everything at once. You don't not have to change everything at once. Just pick one that you really want to focus on. And that's one thing that I've started to do myself, is trying to pick one thing, right, and prioritize the most important thing and focus more on it than all the other obstacles I have. And and things have started coming out better. My life is not perfect, and I never will say it is, but I have a lot of great things going on in my life, and my family is one of those things. And then guess what? If I sit there and let those other faults and those other things get to me, then they will fail. So I can't let my mental peace beat me, because then it'll beat them, and I can't let that beat them, because I'm the rock of this family. I'm the rock of my family. So I'm gonna keep pushing. Y'all got to keep pushing. Y'all the rock of y'all's family. You got to keep your head up. There's no doubt in my mind that you can't do what you are capable of doing. There's nobody out there stronger than you. You got to keep driving, man. Keep on keeping on, as Joe Dirt would say, man. Keep on keeping on.
You said something very powerful, because I would be lying to say I don't struggle with some of those same things from day to day. So many people be like, oh my God, Ethan, you good speaker and coach and this, that, and the third. And we don't see ourselves in the same light that other people see us, because we're battling our own inner demons. And a lot of times the demons that we're battling is something from our past, something that maybe somebody else poured in our life. Because if we weren't sweet, you wouldn't be in the position that you in. Like, you work the way you do and you do what you do because you know that if things fail, it's all on you. That's why we go hard the way we do. But unfortunately, what we do is we speak the wrong words out of our mouth sometimes. Like, we say we're not confident, but people like, how can you say you're not confident when you did A, B, and C? I could never do those things. And I'm thinking to myself, this is easy. This is what I'm supposed to do. Like, how can I not do that? You know what I'm saying? Because other people see you doing it. But it's like, when you see you just for who you are and that greatness in you, then it makes that transition a lot easier. Again, like I said earlier, accountability comes in a multitude of things. And if you live in North America and you consider yourself believing in God, you have to know that you're a spiritual being. And being a spiritual being, you deal with spiritual things. And a lot of times that negative spirit want to hold you back from getting on that track to being better than what you actually are. Like, you've accomplished this level that you at, you can go so much higher. And it's not about money and things. It's about seeing yourself as that king and that queen. It's about putting yourself in that position to where, I like to say, you got personal freedom each and every day. I don't know a man who wants to get up out of bed and leave the comfort of his wife, who wants to put his kids on a bus and not see them off to school, who don't want to be there to see what they do, who don't want to go to their programs and things like that too. But we're not able to do those things because we tell ourselves, all right, I got to go work. I got to go do this. I got to go do that. Well, that's true. You don't have to do that forever, especially when it's a gift inside of you. Like, you have to discover what that gift is inside of you and be accountable for pulling it out. I tell my wife this. It's a book that I read, Outwitting the Devil. And I said, the more I think about that book and I think about that audio book that I listened to on YouTube, it's a fictional book. I believe what the guy was saying. He, like, in so many words, I get 98 out of 100 people crossing back over to the other side, because most people live in fear. Like, most people live in fear. And that's true. We live in fear for being the best version of ourselves. Like we're so much more than what we give ourselves accountability for. But it's that hard work part that people don't want to do. I was like you, like that too. When I go to the gym, I could do chest, I could do push-ups. You know, I didn't care for doing legs because of how they drain and suck all the energy out of you. I didn't care for doing abs because that hurt too. Ain't nothing like getting knots in your stomach from doing sit-ups. Like that don't feel good, but it looks good. You appreciate the look and you appreciate going through that task when you're done. So we do those things that's easy for us and we hang our hat on that. Like, I'm good, I did this. But in the back of your mind, you think from time to time, man, I should have pushed harder on those sit-ups. Like, man, I should have pushed harder on that run. And then you, like you said, you get complacent and you just move on and you kind of go on with life and doing some of the same things, right? I'm telling you, tonight is the night where you have to tell yourself, hey, I'm going to change my life. Things going to be different for me. I'm going to be accountable and do everything that I say I'm going to do. And that's what I've been working on, man, just recalibrating myself. I see the wind. I see the fans blowing out there for you. My ceiling fan has got cold air going down the back of my neck. Like, this is cold over here. But I got the ceiling fan on and the air conditioning blows right down on me. That's why I'm always wearing a hoodie when I'm on camera. Like, it's cold in this office.
Hey, Big Sarge, you kind of like said something earlier, and it's yeah, like, man, I think one of the things you touched on earlier that you said is knowing what you need to do, right? Because you said, you know, we know what we need to do, and everybody else is noticing that, and we hit it hard, right? But the biggest thing is, I think a lot of people have that. Maybe it's even me at the same time, is not knowing what you need to do, or, you know, focusing and prioritizing on what that need to do type situation. You see what I'm saying? It's like, you know, if you know you need to do something, but you know, you don't feel like you can do it, but you do a great job on the things you know you need to do, right? And then from that point is making that goal, or maybe making that specific thing that need to do a priority on that go to do. Because again, we make our need to do things as a job related, or maybe even was in the military, we made our things hot points, you know, we focused in on them and we got those points. But then there's other things that we had that we thought that we know we didn't do well, but we didn't focus on it as much, right? I think that comes down to a prioritization and focusing on those pieces. But I think that's where I have a big opportunity on, though, too, is understanding that it's important also. There's an also important piece in there that you need to make sure that you focus on and try to balance time management with those pieces.
That's a key part of accountability. Here in this country, a lot of times we're so wasteful of our life because we're wasteful of our time. We feel like we have all the time in the world. And that's when you look up and say shit like, I can't believe I'm 46 years old. I can't believe I got 3 kids. I can't believe I did this, because you haven't managed your time. You don't understand the importance of managing your time. You don't have forever. You are here and in this phase of life for a short period of time. And it's like, if you don't manage your time while we're here, what makes us think we're going to manage our time or manage our energy when we get to whatever that next space may be? So that's a very powerful thing. Like, I was going to say this, like, meditate. Like, it's so important to start meditating, to turn everything off and allow your mind to get loud. Like, silence everything else and sit with yourself and let those uncomfortable thoughts come in and pass through. But the more you breathe your way through, the easier it is for you to start setting plans and strategies for you. I'm only sitting in this place that I am today because I had learned to meditate, and I don't do it consistently on a regular basis anymore. But meditation helped me transition my life. It helped me look at things differently. It required a different set of accountability. And you got to start out small. Maybe it's 2 minutes, maybe it's 5 minutes, but you'll see the power in that and just allowing yourself to be. we're so busy in this world that we're not progressing. We're just working and busy. But you don't really see any real progress besides the things that you acquired in life. You know what I'm saying? But do you see yourself mentally progressing, spiritually progressing, financially progressing, educationally progressing? Like, are you really doing things to see the steps and the progress that you've made in your life? So, man, I implore anybody to start meditating, because meditating helps you get back to the center of you and what you need to do for you, and it brings peace for you.
Yeah, hey, Big Sarge, like you're saying, I think one of the biggest part of accountability, though, too, and you said it, is consistency. Being consistent with it, right? Accountability, you can do it once or twice, but being consistent with it, that accountability piece right there. You know, working out. What is it? I can work out, 2-3 months in a row. You know, I'm holding myself accountable. I want to be better with better my body, better myself, but being consistent afterwards. And you know what? Oh, 1 or 2 days off, that, and the other. Hey, diets, working, or your job, right? Hey, you're doing such and such. You're doing it, so you're holding yourself accountable. Hey, I need to do better here. I need to do better here. But then you only do it for a week or two. Where's that consistency, right? Being consistent on those tasks, on that goal. And not just, the thing is, a lot of your goals are probably going to be a longevity, but you got to keep yourself consistent for a good period of time, so you find yourself a routine where you're constantly doing without reminding yourself. Because once you do it just for a couple of days, you're not going to remind yourself. You know, that consistency will not remind yourself, but then it becomes nature after a certain period of time, 90 to 120 days, it starts becoming just a regular nature. Then you're like, okay, I'm already doing this. That consistency is where you're going to hold yourself accountable.
And that's very key. Like I said something before in a video years ago, and I don't remember how it went, but it's like, yes, setting those goals and accomplish those goals turns into habits. But some of us got a habit of continuously breaking our goals. We have habits of continually pushing the line a little bit further. And here's what's so crazy about that. Me and you both know this from being in Iraq or being at home, and you work out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row, and you take your one day off and you get back up on Monday and you do your thing, you feel great. When you take that 1 or 2 days off, you feel like trash again. And that's when that negative self-talk come in. Oh, I missed the day. I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? I get back on track. And now you negative self-talking and you don't get back on track. But when you 3 weeks in a row, you're like, nah, I don't care if I get 30 minutes in before I go to bed. I got to go do something. So once you take those goals and you have a habit of accomplishing those goals, your habit turns into more consistency. A lot of people have a habit of doing the negative things and letting themselves off the hook. Like, I no longer want to let myself off the hook. Like, I know 100% that if I'm 46, if God gave me another 46 years, you know what I'm saying? That puts me at 92, which is not unaccomplishable. That's not unaccomplishable. I don't know when he's gonna take me up out of here. Yeah, unheard of. I don't know when he's gonna take me up out of here, but if I start taking care of this temple and I start creating new habits of how I talk to myself, how I talk to my wife, how I work out, what I put in my body, what am I doing? Then that higher power, God, whatever you call it, is going to see, oh, this individual understands the importance of holding themselves accountable. They set a lifestyle change. It wasn't just about a diet. It wasn't just about a fad. Like, this is a lifestyle change. This is a mindset change. It's like leaving Iraq. You eventually had to have a mindset shift in order to come back to the civilian world, as we call it, and work within this criteria of what civilians are doing or what the rest of the world is doing. You adapt it to that mindset shift, and you have to do the same thing in your life. Like, you got to be willing to push yourself when you don't feel like doing it and knowing that it's going to be okay. I tell my wife this, and I say with my knee surgery, I'm waking up like every 2 hours a night. I don't even know why. It's just what it is. But I keep saying to myself, the position that I'm in right now is temporary. I will not be here forever. It's going to change. I'm 3 weeks in. Things have changed. I'm in my garage riding my exercise bike slowly. A week ago, that wasn't a thought for me. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, now every day I'm going to my garage to ride my exercise bike because I noticed the more I'm up moving around, the more my swelling has went down. I can see this actually working for me. So now it forces me to create new habits for what I want to do. When I talk about doing plant-based food, I've done a 3-day fast water only. I've done a 7-day fast water only. I've done a 12 to 14-day fast water only. Like, I see what it's done to my body and what it does to me mentally. And the moment I go back to doing those things that's not good for me and breaking that positive habit, I want to go back to eating a Whataburger every day. I want to go back to drinking the things I don't need. I want to go back to going to sleep whenever I go to sleep instead of setting my schedule. Now I'm all off and I got to figure out how to get myself accountable again to get back on track. When if you would have just stayed consistent with where you was at, that thing that you used to do will be a past part of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, the mind is an amazing thing, but we have to control that thing. It's a supercomputer. What you pour in it, that's what's going to be stored in the memory bank.
Hey, look, and I think also one big thing is a big thing that people need to focus on is focus on yourself. I know a lot of people are very competitive and look at people like, hey, how come I don't have what they have? They're doing this, right? But you got different goals, you got different aspirations and stuff like that. You can get to where they are, but as long as you hold yourself accountable to those goals that you set yourself to, right? That, you know, everybody always looks at everybody else and say, oh, well, they ain't doing this, but they're here, or they ain't doing this, but they somehow made it here. You know, they had different goals, they had different things they focused on. You're so busy focusing on other people and what they're doing that you're losing focus on your accountability and your consistency on what you need to be doing for yourself. You need to focus on you. That's the goal for yourself, is to focus on you. And I think the biggest thing is if you focus on yourself and what you need to work on and not everybody else, yeah, it's pretty shitty to sit here and watch other people that do less or do other things than what you do to either try to move up or try to make that lateral move or whatever else it is. But at the end of the day, as long as you're coming in, you're putting that effort in and you're focused on what you need to, I promise you that your day is coming and you'll get what you want, and it will be it'll feel a whole lot better to realize that you worked so much harder for it.
Absolutely. 100%. Absolutely. That's the part, again, that's the part people don't get. That's the part people don't get. We don't want to take advantage of it.
I can't scratch my own back.
Getting too big.
Oh man, I can't scratch my own back. Oh man. Ugh.
Hey, that's not a bad thing at times.
It only becomes a bad issue when you can't wipe your own ass.
Now that's a bad thing. Yeah. That's a bad thing big time. When you can't wipe your own ass, yeah, that's an issue.
That's when you gotta get you one of those
young. You don't want to deal with that part.
That's when you gotta get yourself one of those bays right there to let it wash away.
You don't want to deal with that part when you can't wipe your own ass. Hold on 1 second. I'm responding to a message from someone that asked me a question real quick. So I'm responding to it. That's all. My apologies. Rocking piano. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. So that's definitely a powerful thing, man. Like, that's definitely a powerful thing, and you got to be willing to make those changes to do better for yourself and every aspect of life. Like, that's just it. You got to be willing to make those changes to do better for yourself if you really want to grow. And there's nothing wrong. Yeah, we all get a little bit weak you fall off the horse. But like I heard somebody say, I don't go 2 days without working out. Like I don't miss 2 days in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. You know, I'm not missing 2 days in a row. One day I fall off, cool. The second day I might be already, I didn't do it at 5 a.m., but I'm going to get it done before I go to bed. Like even I would often tell people when we are still in the military, like, hey man, just do 50 push-ups every night before bed. Like you'll be amazed at how much that builds up your consistency and that builds you up mentally. Like just do something every day to put yourself in a better space. Read a book. You know what I'm saying? Meditate, study. Go on a walk with your wife. Sit down and play with your kids. Even if it's 10 minutes a day, like dedicate to what you can dedicate to. If it's 5 minutes for you, then start with that 5 minutes until you can grow that thing to again.
Yeah.
That goal that you set becomes consistent. That consistency creates the habit. That habit creates the transformation. And slower, eating smaller portions. We get so busy wanting to do the whole triple Whataburger with cheese and a large fries and scarf it all down so fast that your body ain't had time to digest it, and you're like, I'm hungry again. Well, you did this too fast. Take your time and enjoy it. And as you enjoy it, you'll realize you don't need so much of maybe that particular thing. I need more of this thing. And when you spend 5 or 10 minutes with your kids or 5 or 10 minutes meditating, you're like, oh, I really like this. I'm going to be able to get this more time because you see how it transforms your life.
Yeah. Hey, Big Sarge, hey, it also comes with that time management thing right there, which you're speaking on, right? So when it comes around to, doing things that you're supposed to and hold yourself accountable on things you want to, but you also got to enjoy yourself, you guys. One of the things that I have, started doing more recently and something that I loved to do before, it was fishing, and I'm back into fishing. I try to go in, whether it's an hour, whether it's 2 hours, whatever else. And my wife, agrees with me. I take my daughters today. I took my girls out fishing with me, whatever else, but it's something I enjoy. But sometimes it takes a moment, you're being so adamant and so, focused on your goals that you forget to just enjoy yourself. Like you were saying earlier, time is very valuable and it's very short, but you also got to enjoy yourself. You got to be able to balance those two. That's the same thing they always say at my workplace is be able to find a balance between work life and work. And then of course, life itself outside of work, and trying to find a balance between those pieces. And is it hard? Yeah, it's definitely hard because especially if you're a manager or above whatever else, or somebody that's, trying to push to drive to do themselves better, you're trying to focus on it so much that you forget what's going on around you outside of work or outside of what your duties are, that you forget to just relax sometimes. And I can tell you this much, sitting back, relaxing, whether it's fishing like I do, whether it's lifting, whether it's reading, whether it's meditation, taking that moment of time to yourself and just relaxing will help refresh your mind, and it also help you hold yourself accountable to the goals that you want to do.
Absolutely.
That's
very important.
Yes, sir.
Because it only grows you. It really only grows you. Like it makes you a better version of you.
Yeah. I would also tell people, like, of course, when it comes to working out, everybody thinks you got to work out 7 days a week. But guess what? Your body, just like everything else, needs rest. So make sure you focus on your days of rest also, but just don't make it a consistent thing, right?
Absolutely.
Prioritize, everything requires a rest at some point of time. You got days off from work for a reason, to help recoup and to do your thing. Working out, they say work out 5 times, take 2 days off, whatever. Hey, look, I take off 3 or 4 days. If my body's not feeling it, I don't feel it. But guess what? I go back into focusing on what I need to work out, and I focus on that. It's just that, again, it's about that consistency and trying to focus on what you really want and hold yourself accountable for those goals. You know, if you want certain goals, make sure you're consistent with it. Consistency doesn't mean every day. Consistency just means find yourself a routine and keep on that routine to where you're feeling comfortable, or you're not killing yourself and you're not putting yourself in any danger, or anybody else in and around your in your life in danger because you're pushing yourself way too fucking hard. You got to enjoy your life too at the same time.
Absolutely, because if you don't enjoy your life, then it's going to be easier for you to track those do. You're going to feel so overwhelmed. You're going to be giving yourself an excuse. Like, oh, man, I ain't done nothing for myself. And once you take that one day off, that one break, you're going to want to take more breaks. So absolutely. You, again, going back to what you said about scheduling time, like scheduling time. Me and my wife scheduled to take date nights every Saturday. And we plan. If it's not going to be a date night out the house and we doing something in the house, then that means we working on business. We working on things we need to do for our business in order to grow, what we doing for our family. So it's like, yeah, you have to plan those things in advance if you want to change, man, if you want to get to the next level. See, they go to Whiskey Charlie, y'all miss. Y'all get to see. That's that consistency. Whiskey Charlie gonna give you that comedy. He gonna give you that comedy. So that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. I'm going to get ready to end the show because I got some things that I need to go do, and I need to go get me another ice pack for my knee and go elevate this thing so I can
get yourself a T-bone,
let it continue to heal the right way. But, man, I think it. Hey, there you go. I thank y'all for tuning in with us today. You know, it's Speak Grunt, Grunt Speak, where we come through and we speak to you and we ask for you to get down in the chat and you speak to us too. But if you don't do nothing else, do what Whiskey Charlie gave us to do, man. Hold yourself accountable. If not for yourself, do it for someone else. Do it for your wife, do it for your kids, do it for the individuals who love you and respect you for who you are. Level by pushing yourself to be better each and every day. And life gets easier in that way. That's really all I have to say. Whiskey Charlie, you got something you want to give to the people to close out today?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Hey, focus on you. You focus on yourself, and I can guarantee that will fix everything else in around you. That's marriage, that's job, that's, sport related. Focus on you. If you make yourself better, ultimately at the end of the day, your wife and your kids is your team. The team that you play on, if it's a sport that you're related to, it will make them better if you make yourself better. And if it's work, I'm going to let you know this much. If you focus on yourself and you do what you need to for yourself, it will make your team better. Focus on yourself and make yourself a priority. Make yourself a priority. You are the most important person in your life. I love my daughters. I love my wife. But I got to focus on me to make sure a better me will make a better them.
Indeed. Well, with that being said, y'all have a blessed and wonderful night, and we will see y'all next week. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me and Whiskey Charlie speak. And fortunately for us, the internet will be acting a lot better, so you don't get all